Hello everyone, my name is Reshma Thapa and today I'm going to give a video presentation for SNUG202 Evidence-Based Practice Assessment 3. And my chosen topic is Childhood Trauma Increase in Individuals' Risks of Developing a Mental Health Disorder. So this presentation is based on literature research, which is crucial for evidence-based practice in nursing as it ensures that patient care is based on the latest high-quality evidence. It also helps nursing students develop critical thinking, improve clinical decision-making, and enhance patient outcome by integrating research into practice. This topic is important because understanding the long-term effect of childhood trauma can help healthcare professionals improve early interventions and support mental well-being. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. So for this presentation, I'm using the PICO framework. The PICO framework helps structure research question effectively by breaking them into 4 components. As you can see, we have population, intervention, comparison, and outcome. So as for my topic, for population, we have individuals who have experienced childhood trauma, intervention, early mental health interventions such as cognitive behavioral therapy or trauma-focused therapy. For comparison, no intervention or standard care. And lastly, for outcome, we have reduced risks of developing mental health disorder. Example, PTSD, depression, or anxiety. And for the clinical question I derived from PICO is, how effective are early mental health therapies at lowering the likelihood of mental health issues in people with a history of childhood trauma when compared to no intervention? So, identifying the keywords and alternative search term is crucial for this presentation because it will be helping us for our research. So for keyword for my topic is childhood trauma, adverse childhood experience, mental health disorder, depression, PTSD, anxiety, etc. And alternative terms we have here is early life stress, psychological trauma, long-term mental health effects, and emotional abuse. So for this presentation, my chosen database is Medline and SNL. Medline is National Library of Medicine's database, one of the best biomedical database on childhood trauma and mental health, which includes RCTs and systematic reviews. And CINAHL stands for Cumulative Index to Nursing and Allied Health Literature. CINAHL offers research on trauma-informed care and therapies with an emphasis on nursing and allied health. That focus evidence for my research, I've been using both databases. Therefore, Medline and CINAHL offers excellent peer-reviewed research, and I had been applying them for my literature research. So having those two useful databases for my literature research, as for this presentation, I went for UOW library page for my initial research and looked for A to Z database where I found CINAHL and Medline to use. I looked for CINAHL first and applied the term childhood trauma first and looked for the result. And the result I got was 10,489, as you can see. And most of the articles were not even related to my topic. So I needed it to narrow down with the uses of Boolean operators, which we're gonna see in our next slide. Therefore, in order to reduce irrelevant articles and concentrate on high quality information, I limited my search by joining search phrases such as Boolean operators and or in my keyword. Using filters for more refined results, I also checked for the publication date and make sure it is conducted within last 10 years. So I used from 2015 to the current year, which is 2025. And the study type was centered on randomized controlled trials, meta-analysis, and systematic reviews. I also changed the language to English only so that I can get the relevant data. And I also changed publication and source type, also looked for peer-reviewed and academic journal. So after identifying the limiters and using it for my research, I went to my second research personnel and used the key terms childhood trauma, used the Boolean operators or and PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder and mental health disorder. And I also used the limiters such as language, publication date within 10 years, which is from 2015 to 2025. And I also looked for peer reviewed, changed the language to English, changed the publication, and I got the result of 44 from 10,864. And after SNL, I did the same for Medline for my research, used the same keyword, which is childhood trauma, and used Boolean operators and limiters for my research in Medline as well, which is PTSD, mental health disorder, as for my topic key term, and used limiters such as language, publication date, peer-reviewed, and type of source. And the result I got was 40. And most of the articles were relevant to my topic this time. And after few research, I found the highest evidence source and summary findings related to my topic. And the finding of summary was anxiety disorders, PTSD, and depression were considerably more common in people with childhood trauma. Childhood trauma has an adverse impact on brain development and also result in emotional and psychological problems that may last a lifetime. And risk factors for substance misuse at early age, self-harm, and suicide were also found to be strongly correlated with childhood trauma. Lastly, for this presentation, I used Gibbs reflective cycle on my experience. So, conducting research on the relationship between childhood trauma and mental health initially felt overwhelming due to the vast amount of information available in the library. But I struggled with determining which sources were most reliable. However, I soon realized that systematic reviews provided the most trustworthy evidence. Therefore, because of the uses of limiters. So, through this process, I learned that applying database filters and refining my search criteria helped me find the most relevant studies more efficiently. So moving forward, I plan to use Boolean operators and database filters earlier in my search to save time. Overall, this experience improved my research skill and deepened my understanding of evidence-based practice. These are the references that I used while making the video presentation. Thank you for watching and listening.